I think that the most important thing is to remember that it didn't happen to you. And I think in the beginning, for some weird reason, which is so stupid when you look at it in hindsight, that you go through the beginning of thinking that it happened to you, and it's such a selfish, stupid mistake, because it didn't, and no one is going to treat you any differently or look at you any differently or any of the things that you've experienced and enjoyed and taken for granted in your life. But you definitely have a wonderful human being that's going to experience a lot of the things that you didn't. So you need to very quickly realise that it happened to them and give them the support that they need, because they're going to need it. And not forever, you know. I mean, it's not, they're going to lead a wonderful life if you give them that support. They're going to go on and do, and never compartmentalise them in the sense of going, right, this is where they sit, so they can only do X, Y, Z. You know, Jackson will decide what he does. Jackson will have his fate and destiny in his own hands to a large degree. But I think in a funny sense, the Jacksons of the world front end the challenge. So in the first 10 years, maybe that's where the parents, they give you more angst to get them up to a certain level, whereas you know, your so-called normal kids or average kids, and I hate the term average normal because I just don't think it's a definition for any child, but I think they give their parents that, you get that angst and that challenge happens when they're a teenager. I think that the Jacksons of the world front-end it for you, because if you do the right thing, you give them all the love and support that they're going to need in that first 10 years, I think that then their fate and destiny is up to them from then on in, and that's critically important to get that very quickly. Look, I think Jackson has been an incredible teacher in everything, in terms of, like, as a dad. And I think the other two children have benefited greatly from that, because I think there's a heightened degree of patience that he's taught me. And he's the president and speaker for the you know, emotional IQ of others. You know, he can sense. They have an incredibly high EQ, which I found, I mean, challenging at times, but one of the most beautiful aspects to him as a person, because things that you would just miss through your own day-to-day activities and whatever else, those sort of, he'll pick up immediately. So you really have to. He's taught me a lot about that, and taught me to be incredibly. I mean, I was not a naturally patient person, never have been, but Jackson has certainly taught me that in a really wonderful way. Not in a helplessness way, actually, and there's a sense of he's very specific when he's not being engaged in the right way, and will let you know. And whereas I think some children, and I can only judge it from my own eyes and my other kids, that perhaps they suck a little bit of that up, and that they don't have as high, they don't communicate it as well as he does. And I you know, that's been a huge benefit.